Chopping onions is fun, guys. Hey everybody, Cornfed Lady here, and today I'm going to show you what we've got going on in our pantry because it's another 100 and something degree heat index day and it's raining on and off again today. So we're just going to do some indoor stuff and I'm going to show you what I've been working on with all the food I've been gathering from the garden. So come on. Okay, first thing I wanted to show you is what I just did, which is chopped up all these onions so that I can run them through the freeze dryer. Chopping onions is fun, guys. Now I've got some yellow or white onions, and then I've also got some red onions, and I'm gonna run those through the freeze dryer here in a minute. Now I have already collected all of the green beans and yellow beans and dragon's tongue beans for the year, and I'm just simply freezing them this year. And what I'll do is thaw them out in the fridge when I want to cook them, and then just kind of fry them up in a little oil to keep them crisp so they don't go limp. I've also already gathered a bunch of corn from this year and bagged it up and frozen it also here in the door. I've still got some corn from last year down here in the drawer with the rest of all the green beans that I've been picking this year. So we've got a bunch of corn, a bunch of beans. All this meat in here is cured hams and bacon that we make ourselves from our pork or pigs that we grow here on the homestead. And yes, this really needs defrosted, but we use it all the time, so it's kind of hard to find a time. Okay, and in this freezer, I have a bunch of blackberries and raspberries that I've been saving to make jam with later. I have already freeze-dried a bunch of berries that we can snack on, so that'll just be something extra. And I have been saving a bunch of green peas this year, so I've been shelling them and just freezing them so that I can cook them up later with our dinners. So we've got a bunch of peas in there from the sugar snap peas. And here's the rest of the corn that I was starting to freeze. It's in with the deer and turkey meat in this kind of random freezer. Of course, we do have a freezer full of rabbit meat, and that's why we raise rabbits. And we have multiple freezers full of pork meat. So we've got pork chops, ground pork, we've got some ribs, some roasts. And like I said, we have been making bacon. This is just raw belly, it's not yet cured. Once we cure this, it'll become bacon. And just next to our freezer area, we have our pantry where I'm storing everything that's already been preserved. So up here we've got some sweet corn that's freeze-dried, and to reconstitute this, you just soak it in a cup of water before you go to use it in your dish. This is from 2022. Now, freeze-drying and Mylar bagging is supposed to make your food last 20 years or more. So we've got sweet corn from 3 years ago. I think this one's actually from, nope, that one's also from 2022. So we've got some sweet corn from a few years ago that's still good, and we have the frozen sweet corn from this year and last year. For carrots, I have some freeze-dried carrots from 2 years ago, and I have some freeze-dried carrots from last year. So I didn't bother freeze-drying carrots this year because we still have plenty. We just been eating our carrots fresh this year. And then next to the carrots, we've got some freeze-dried berries. So these are the blackberries and the raspberries that I ran through the freeze dryer this year. And again, all this stuff here will be good for like 20 years. So it doesn't matter if we use it this year or next year. We've got our sweet corn, carrots, berries. I did make some currant syrup out of our currant berries this year. It's just something new I tried. I had planned on boiling it down to a jelly, but it was just taking forever. So this is just a syrup. It's just a sweet flavoring that you can add to like ice cream or whatever. And we've still got a bunch of mixed berry jam from last year. So this is blackberries and raspberries jammed up together. The jam takes a lot of time and effort to make those, so that's why this year I decided to do some freeze-drying berries instead. We still have plenty of jam though. Next up, we've got freeze-dried potatoes. And the way I do this is, and I should make a video of this for you guys, but the way I freeze-dry potatoes is first I boil the potatoes and mash them up like you would do mashed potatoes, only I don't put any butter or milk or anything in it. It's just the potato that's mashed, and then I freeze dry them. And then when you go to reconstitute these, it's going to be a lot like making instant potatoes. So you'll just add water, heat it up, and then if you want to, you can add some butter, salt and pepper and stuff like that. So I've got potatoes for the year. We've still got a few freeze-dried beans from a couple years ago. They were kind of gross freeze-dried, which is why I froze them this year. But these are good for emergency food. We've also got some old freeze-dried snap peas from a few years ago. Again, it's good emergency food to keep. Now this year we did grow some garlic and onions, which is new to us, and I actually freeze-dried some garlic also, and I'm getting ready to freeze-dry some onions. And I've also got down here some peppers from a couple years ago that I dehydrated. I've got some tomatoes that I canned a couple years ago. I've got some tomato soup that I made last year. Parsley, I grew that this year, and I just ran this through the dehydrator. And I've also got a couple of bags of parsley. It's no different than the jar of parsley. I just wanted to be able to see some of it through the jar there. And last year we picked a bunch of fennel, so that's what that jar behind there is. That's some fennel, and I used the fennel to make sausage out of that ground pork that I showed you earlier. We do also have some other emergency foods that have been bagged, like raw eggs and milk and things like that, that have been dehydrated in case of emergency. And we have like a lifetime supply of pickles, because my husband loves pickles, and we grew a bunch of cucumbers a couple years ago. Anyway, I just thought maybe you guys would like to see what I've been up to, preserving all the foods that we've been growing here on our homestead while it's really hot and rainy and nasty outside. So y'all have a good one. Make your day productive no matter the weather.